Hello, everyone. I am making this short video to help us review half steps as we go into week 9. So this was covered a little bit last week in week 8, but it's going to be really important for us to keep this fresh as we move into talking about major scales. So very quickly, chromatic half steps and diatonic half steps. So let's start with chromatic. You can see on the screen here that I have middle C on the staff and it's highlighted on the piano down here. And we know that all half steps can be found just by going to the next key over on the keyboard. So here we have C, and then this C sharp, we have the next key up, right? From this white key to this black key. So some other examples of that, we can build out some more just so we can see them. So if we start on G natural, for example, and we want a chromatic half step above G natural, simply go to your keyboard, use your keyboard apps that you all have on your phones, and go up to the next key, right? So in this case, right here, and it's as a chromatic half step, it's G sharp. Right? So G natural to G sharp. Notice that all the chromatic half steps, we keep the letter name the same, right? And that's what really defines what a chromatic half step is, right? We're using an accidental. So C to C sharp, G to G sharp, for example. Now let's take another example. Let's start with the note E flat. And write so here's our E flat on the staff and on the keyboard. Now, can we go one note up on the keyboard? What are we going to call that? There's our E natural. Notice we have the natural sign here, this accidental, to indicate that it is no longer flat, but the E is now natural. This is another example of a chromatic half step. Again, they're both types of E, right? E flat, E natural, two adjacent keys on the keyboard. Great. So now let's look at this diatonic half step. And the first thing I want to do is compare it to the chromatic half step. So look on the keyboard, we have C natural, and then in the chromatic half step up top here, the next note is C sharp. So look at the keyboard, boom, boom, C, C sharp. Now, down here, diatonic half steps, C natural, same starting note, D flat, right? Same key on the keyboard, but again, we're spelling it differently. We're using a different letter name and a different accidental, right? But it's the same key. Now, the thing that defines a diatonic half step is that we're changing letter names. So if I were to give you another example, we can now do the same one. We can start on G, right? So we'll start there on G natural, just like we did before, and go up a half step, but spell it as a diatonic half step. What letter name is above G in music? We know that that's when we cycle back around to A, right? So it has to be some kind of A. And again, look at the keyboard, find G natural, go up a half step to A flat, right? And those are adjacent keys with different letter names, right? So G to A flat. And another example here, if I were to go, I'll give you something new here. Let's do B flat. So we'll start on B flat, and you can see here the B flat on the keyboard. We go up, we want to go up a half step. So you might first think up a half step from B flat is B natural, which is true, but that's a chromatic half step. Okay, so how do we turn this B natural into some kind of C? Well, find C, we know where C natural is, and lower that by a half step so that we get to this B, that is going to be C flat, right? So that means Again, to review, we're going from B flat. We have to go to some kind of C for it to be a diatonic half step. Diatonic, again, just means we're changing the letter name. So B flat up to C flat. Great, I hope this helped. Please ask all your questions in the discussion forum for this week, and I will see you again soon.